So first stop, yeah, is how to play to win is realizing that you want to play to win and ask the questions, how do I improve my gameplay? So the first fight the first fight would be the agent select screen. So as you can see on the screen, there are different agents. How do I scroll? Yeah, one. It's like 20 agents already. My suggestion is play whoever you're comfortable with, but keep a controller in mind because controllers are the most essential agents in a team composition. It's a lot tougher to play without the controller than to play, you know, it's a lot tougher to play without a controller than, you know, having a controller in your team and having three duelists or something, right? Sometimes sentinels aren't even picked. There are different strengths and weaknesses for that. So, agent select, play whoever you want, but keep a controller in mind. Our controllers would be Brimstone, Omen, Astra, and Viper. These agents are good for soloing. Other than that, if you actually want to solo, play a sentinel. So our sentinels would be Sage, Cypher, Killjoy, and who else? Sage, Cypher, Killjoy, Chamber is actually new because sentinels tend to be very selfish. Like they could manage to hold their own, and it actually practices you know, good aiming skills and decision making because usually you're alone on the site, right? Okay, other than the agents, let's talk about agent roles. Agent roles, duelists, duelist initiators, and sage usually come hand in hand when attacking a site. When you're attacking, you want, let's say, you have a Reina, Raze, and Sage, right? You want that to be in your at the same side of the map that you're attacking with. And let's say someone like Omen, right? That means we don't have an initiator. And initiator is actually really good in this map. So let's say Sky. This is what it would look like if you're running, you know, a five-man team. But this changes if it's not Sage. Sentinels other than Sage can play solo. This is what you call lurking on attack. They can play solo on attack. They would put traps. They would put traps on the other side of the map because it gives information, and they could take orb or whatever, right? They could take orb while controlling other parts of the map. Like, okay, there are no people here. You can communicate that to your team while your team pushes. Common misconception about this is that misconception about this is that I see a lot of lurking Reynas in lurking duelists in general on pubs, and they're complaining that they're top fragging, but they're not winning. The problem in that is that you're not doing your job correctly. Duelists are supposed to help on taking sites. It would look like something like this because Reyna's Leer is actually a really good flash to set up your entries. It gives you leeway on how to on crossing the site and helping your duelist get in. Reyna going in front with a Leer is not, is not recommended because you can get shot and your flash wouldn't even come out, or you're just holding the flash and not having a chance to fight unless you're playing like this, in which you can trade your enemy on the same angle, etc., etc., right? We'll talk about that later. Controllers can also lurk, but you have to be mindful of your surroundings more than what the sentinel would do, because you're vulnerable when you're smoking. Like someone like Astra is a really good lurking controller because she can put her stars on different sides of the map. Check chat in a while. Um, Next up, uh, other than agent elect select, what would you want to do if your teammates are dumb? What you want to do is isolating fights, and connected to agent roles is the sense of importance of your life. It's actually very important. Duelists are the most duelists are the most disposable because their job is to just get people the control early that they need. So if, let's say on this setup, if you want long control, it's either Reina has to flash. Wait. Wow, this Reina has to flash. You entry. Reina clears here. Reina clears here, and this is now the problem, right? Because usually this is a utility dump, like where people just throw utilities in here. What would happen there is now Reina has to get inside, or Reyes has to get inside. Reina would set herself up, or her other duelists to entry while clearing the site. Now, what? Why are they disposable? Because they usually have utilities that are, for that purpose of entering, and once they use their utility, it's not rechargeable. Unlike, let's say, Omen and Sky. Bruh, why is this even up? Anyways, Omen and Sky, their Omen Smoke is rechargeable, Sky's Flash is rechargeable, so they have much more value later in the round. Killjoy has a lot of value because her turret tends to clear, tends to give information, and she has to get orb. If Killjoy entries, unless she's actually really good at entering, she doesn't really do much. It's just her aim to set herself up and her, utilities from her fellow teammates. So that's first. Knowing your agent's worth in the round is a big part. So if your duelist doesn't want to entry, don't force it unless you're playing on the timing of the enemy, you know their timing, so you can out aim them, etc., etc. Those are special cases, but our case today is that you're not playing up to par. So if you're not playing up to par now, uh, how do you entry? So let's say you already took control of this, like with a sky flash and whatnot. You should know your win conditions on the entry point of the map. So usually, talking, let's just talk about Haven A, right? Haven A, you win long. You win long. Let's say you're Killjoy is on the other side of the map, now protecting. You win long, but haven't cleared short. Now, the best strategy here is that, remember, you have abilities. Uh, Sky would clear this with a dog, and Omen would go here and attempt a flash, paranoia after the dog. Is something like this, right? So Sky could easily enter, or Reina could easily enter, set themselves up, right? And you're already winning just by with utilities. Now, if you're having trouble long and you're stuck there, remember what I told you a while ago. Some agents' abilities do not regenerate, and even if they do, it's on a timer. So let's say one of the more popular agents is Sage. Let's say she slow herbs this, and okay, you can't get in because the other side of the map you have a Sage, you have a Phoenix, for example only, right? Enemy has Omen. Let's say Sova's playing long, and Jet holding mid, or even Garage, right? So remember, Sage only has 2 orbs. Phoenix, Molly needs to refresh after 2 kills. So you can actually wait for them to burn. And since Valorant is, a quote unquote hero shooter ish, since characters are distinct, unlike in CSGO, you can actually know how many people are on site. So let's say Phoenix flashed, Sage Orb, Omen, Paranoia. Right? 3 people can immediately uh, know that there's 3 people. So, okay, you can call, guys, there are 3 people on site. Let's go back. Right? Since Killjoy has control of mid or grass, you can easily retake this. Or another idea would be burning their utility, baiting their utility to use. So usually this is like a lot of sages throw orbs really fast, and it's not really slowing down. They have to communicate that, okay, is there a person in here? No. Okay. Don't throw another slow orb. So if Phoenix peaks and there's still a person, okay, second slow orb. Okay, you can now call, guys, Sage doesn't have a slow orb. Phoenix used 1 flash. Omen doesn't have paranoia. We can take the site because you clearly have utility advantage. They're respecting you. Now you can put your Leer or Sky and Bird from above. Flash clears the first angle. Reina then clears backside, and you win the round because your teammates have pressure onto heaven, sites taken, and post plant now happens. And post plant is a lot harder because Omen used his paranoia, so there's no more flashes if you killed Phoenix, and Sage couldn't even wall. Jet's not really good on retakes, especially on A. Sova is really good with the dart to heaven, but it's still a huge problem because how do they enter? Unless they have control of mid, they can pincer the defense on long on or on site, which is Killjoy's role in this part is controlling parts of the map. Even though you're not killing, as long as you're keeping information, giving information to your teammates, that's how you win as, you know, as a team or even on solos. You're not giving options to your enemy. So let's talk about, other than that, let's talk about playing your own fights. So let's clear it all. Let's go back to the game. Let's go back to the game, right? How do I win my gunfights? Let's get back here. S let's practice what they call crosshair placement. There's another element to crosshair placement, which is isolating duels. I actually have footage to go through. Hello, Sueri. First time chatter. Big Pog. Oh wow, it's fast. It's fast.
Go. Let's go.
Actually, I have footage to review. Wow, this is super fast. So Ascent has a lot of opening duels. Mainly
Careful,
talking
Candace.
about,
Not sure if I could catch you in time if you fell off.
you know,
I mean, I'd try, of course.
I didn't turn on cheats. So let's talk about this, right? There's a difference between agents, but we can still talk about isolating 1v1. So I actually don't have cheats here. Let's talk about it first. Your opening
Here.
peak is this, right? But you see the
Here.
cross here. For example, this. This is a 1v1 angle. Until some after 5 seconds, this becomes a 2v2 angle. Because a person could be here or a person could be here. So for the first few seconds, you want to check this. And since, okay, is there a person here? Is there not? You just want to, you know, after checking, you don't have to take, you don't have to force the fight, especially with Jet. Don't really have to force the fight. You can just, okay, if I missed, I have information. Okay, let's go back. Or isolate the 1v1 here. But usually you just go back, right? And you can isolate the 1v1s on the other angles, as you know. The idea is maximum only of 2 angles vulnerable. So if they're here, that's not usually a problem in
30
Valorant,
seconds left.
since as defender, you're holding angles in very tight corners. So if you're on site, you can play this, you can play this, you can play this.
10 seconds left.
Carefully track, check, 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 check. Something like that. Wait, let's restart. Somehow cheats didn't get turned on. Oh, huh? Cheats are on. What do you mean? Okay, I guess. on the attacker side, this becomes much different because you actually have to check angles, and to to win those angles you have to be very careful.
Careful of the edges. Not sure if I could catch her in time if you fell off. I mean, I'd try, of course. My ult's ready.
So let's say you're an attack. This becomes the difference between this and this is very big, because you're now trying to guess whether he's here or here. So you wanna check this, run through, play with your teammate. They're gonna push. You don't have to push this, but if you are already, there's still this corner to check. As a duelist, you have to check every single thing. Something like this, right? And this and this. So, let's say you're not playing the duelist and your duelist is doing just that. You, as a player on the back, this is not your job. These angles are not your job, but your angle, this is your job. So you have to clear here, here, back, back. Then if your duelist dies while checking, attempt to trade, and the cycle goes on, because the person at the back is supposed to be playing the long range angles and not the close ones until the person in front of you dies because of the people at the side. So general tip for entering is to enter sideways and not walking forward. The reason for that is you're much more of a predictable target if you're walking forward. But if you're playing something like this, sideways, it's much more, it's a more harder target. Or let's say something like this. If you're entering and you're fighting, you can do something like this, because you're forcing the enemy to adjust their aim. Let's say you're going forward, you can just spray like that. But if you're going sideways, okay, I have to control, I have to track you, and you can force their mistakes, and then if they don't hit you, adjust on the head, pop. So what now if you're clutching, right? Let's say you're retaking. Now you have to do these steps, like clear the angles carefully. Okay, isolate as much 1v1s as you can, and then okay, get the first skill, clear, get the second, okay, clear, clear, clear. Because of the information that you have, you know where people are, even though you can't see them. So if they're not in front of you, they're probably somewhere else. Is basically the idea of getting information. So you want to do this while you wait for your teammate, something like that. Other than entering, the skill difference in Valorant is much smaller because of agent abilities. So Jet doesn't really have much to show for it, but she can do things like that. See, she has easy access to sight, or she can do something like this, which can easily make space for your teammates, because you already closed one of the points of contention of this cross. So doing even things like that help a lot, you know. Can do this, do something like that again, do it faster. Then you can isolate. One of the biggest, you know, misconceptions is that when you're holding something like this, you have to commit. No, no, no. You can just do something like this, right? Okay, guys, they're here. Let's go for the retake. You have to win a part of the site. Like, okay, having this is good already because once you break it, you can clear. You can clear. Your teammates can exert pressure on heaven by clearing. Ooh, thank you, So Airy, for now following. So the idea is wait for your teammates, do not overextend, and win parts of the site. Okay, let's say you're a Sova, right? Wait, can I change agent? Yeah. Let's say you're a Sova.
30 seconds left.
My ult is ready. One
Okay.
step closer. Eyes up.
Say you're a Sova. And for the first part of the round, you want to gain information of,
Revealing area.
we call this, wait, wrong card,
Revealing area.
of mid.
Right here.
Okay, now there's no people in mid. Your teammate confirms
here.
that there's no B main. You can now rotate or hold mid until, you know, further information comes that, okay guys, they're on A. So what if they're on A and you still don't have your dart open, or your dart in general, right? So you can wait. You can tell your teammates, okay guys, wait, I don't have my dart, let's hold off for now. And same idea goes that, okay, let's take part of the site first. Can take heaven, make sure
Right here.
heaven is in control. Can take short. Okay, short guys is now is in control. Okay guys, now I have my recon now. We can
Scanning
do
ahead.
this or something, right?
Deploying drone.
Check. Okay guys. Here. Then you have to. You can now fight together. Even Valorant incentivizes the use of abilities because of the assists. I don't know what
Scanning
the hell
ahead.
this does, but apparently it checks even health. Okay, I guess. I think that's it for now on playing on how playing to win. Other than that, we can, you know, you can record your own gameplay on Outplayed or other recording software. Nvidia Shadowplay, I think, does y- highlights. And if you guys have any questions, I guess this is the part where I answer it. Thank you for listening to the lecture. I hope you learned something. I guess we can open now for questions if people have questions.